Alright, you wee muckers, what's the crack? Anniversaries can be wild. Who knew it could be so much fun learning that Thomas the Tank Engine is 75 this year? Wait, why does it say 2020 on it?
Okay, so I may have been a bit late to the party, but that's the thing about anniversaries, you can't celebrate 75 twice. Yeah, stuff gets older every year, but no one cares unless it ends in a 5 or an O, but if that 5 has a 7 or a 2 or the O a 5 or an O, then it's time to break out the limited editions as there's money to be made. Thomas may be outdated, but my country, Northern Ireland, has its 100th this year.
Oh, thank goodness I had a matching top.
Created in 1921 due to the Government of Ireland Act whenever Ireland sort of got independence from Britain, but not everyone wanted to leave, so they created a separate country called Northern Ireland. Famous for its scenery such as those hexagon rocks, making Titanic, and that car from Back to the Future, being where Game of Thrones was filmed, the Troubles, an obsession with putting things on fire, and being good at sports. But I've never heard anyone talk about its impact on gaming, and this is a gaming show.
But now on to this episode's sponsor, Tato.
Not to be confused with the Tato from the Irish company, as when we split into two countries, we also had to have two separate Tatos. But why should you buy Tato? Well, Tato has been serving the people of Northern Ireland since 1956. Unlike the Irish Tato, which sold out to mega corporation Intersnack, Tato is still a family-owned business, showing that they actually care about you. The Irish Mr. Potato Head is an awful mascot, as he has no emotion about him and looks more like a knockoff purr, whereas Tato's looks like your lovable granda. Tato also make hunky dories, and while I do think they're far better than Golden Wonder, I am legally obligated to say that Tato's Golden Wonder is better. And if you were to ask who the most toxic fandom is, then you might say Rick and Morty or FNAF. But no, Tato stands are on the same level as Disney's, having to have their own special place to go to in order to stop us from dying of radiation poisoning. But who cares if it's a theme park? We have Barry's, which is a far better one. Oh, this is bad. They also cause the Irish Potato family.
Thanks so much to Tato for sponsoring this episode's Spirit campaign on Tato. And now, back to the episode.
Well, during that sponsorship, I found out everything I could in Northern Irish impact on gaming. An impact on gaming could be as simple as when I bought Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart at launch, but we're looking for the more interesting stuff. Luckily, it's only for Northern Ireland. If anything tried to find out the impact of video games by Chad, it'd explode. Let's start out with the time whenever Northern Ireland showed up in games, with the closest thing I could find to positive representation being in FIFA.
I didn't say how close.
You've been able to play as the Northern Irish national team since FIFA 05, which came out 16 days after I was born.
It was a rush decision.
The team has always had an average rating in these games, with the best rated player ever being George Best with a 94 rating 3 years in a row, who's been dead since 2005 coincidentally. There isn't any Northern Irish teams though, you have to go to Football Manager for that. However, we don't show up in any other sports games, as football is the only sport we have a national team for, but you can play as individuals like Roy McIlroy.
I can't be an individual, I'm a collectivist.
Another less socially undermining pastime than video games is reading, and one of the most famous book series was written by C.S. Lewis, whom was Northern Irish, being the Chronicles of Narnia. Disney tried to adapt them into their own Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, but people only care about the one book in that series, so they just give up on trying, letting Fox waste their money making the third one. At least they returned the favour. But as with all movies or TV shows in the 2000s, the movies got tie-in games. It's nothing to celebrate, as they're just as tasteless as any other licensed kids game.
I still kinda like it.
Titanic Adventure at a Time is Northern Ireland built into the entire game, as you never get to leave the Titanic.
Neither did the working class.
The Titanic was an amazing ship until Southampton broke it, which was built in Belfast on the 31st of March 1912, but you probably only know about it from the movie, seen as a massive tragedy due to the ship getting damp, but nowadays is one of Northern Ireland's most profitable tourism sectors, so yeah, I'd say it was worth it. So really any game with the Titanic in it is showing off Northern Ireland if you've got eyesight that can see thousands of miles away. Now, on to the bad stuff. In Mafia 3 there is a mission called the IRA Don't Ask, in which Thomas Buick asked the player to steal 3 cars for him to give to the IRA to be used as bombs in Belfast during the Troubles. Well, I never seen GTA possibly promote a real-life terrorist organisation, so I guess Mafia is not a complete rip-off. Something like this you knew was going to ruffle some feathers, so a few MPs called for a complete ban of the game. Less bad from a moral standpoint, but degenerates Northern Ireland is the Ulster flag in one of the buildings with the word traitor sprayed on it. Now, I don't think they are trying to say the IRA are good guys, as there's a lot of other stuff in the game, and the point is that they're bad people. Doesn't make it any smarter though, but give them some slack. It was made by Americans. What do they know about the outside world? But in case you want to file a complaint with them, 2K's address is... Now, if you look in the Northern Irish characters, Frank Builders takes this a step further, allowing you to play as a former IRA member. The Troubles had only been over for a decade whenever this came out, though funny enough, I couldn't find any politicians wanting to ban it, probably as no one has ever seen a Frenchman make such a bold move that they were too shocked to do anything. But being part of the IRA means that he's not proud to be Northern Irish, leaving the task being Northern Ireland's video game representative, being the only other Northern Irish character, Cheekymonkeygaming, the legendary Celtic warrior. Cheekymonkeygaming is associated with Northern Ireland, even though the tales are older than Northern Ireland by about 2,000 years. Still considered Northern Irish, due to representing Ulster whenever the Isle of Ireland was split into 4 countries, which modern day Northern Ireland makes up the majority of Ulster. But this man has been in a total of 59 games, including Smite, the Final Fantasy series, and at least 42 of those appearances being part of the Shin Megami Tensei franchise.
Sega, you have developed an addiction.
Well, that's it for whenever Northern Ireland appeared in video games. Now we have to look into real life news stories, like that time a rare Sega arcade game was found in the field.
Yeah, how rude of us. After Sega remembered us 42 times, that would have made an excellent bonfire topper.
The other company who had made a Northern Irish character, Ubisoft, also had a run-in with us whenever a woman from Belfast spotted this in Mind Quiz. Now, this next piece is what you could call an urban myth, as I could not find the original post about it, so take it as 100% fact. But it said that there was once a gaming convention in Northern Ireland where somebody got a Nintendo representative to show up, but somebody had the bright idea to hook up a pirated copy of Super Smash Bros. Brawl to a projector whenever it wasn't even out in the UK, and the Nintendo rep never showed up again.
We did a good job. It's no wonder everyone hates us.
This did ruin Frank Builder's chances of getting to Smash. But one character whom people would be more upset about is ruining their chances of getting into Smash is Earthworm Jim, because one of the main creators, David Perry, is from Northern Ireland. Born in Lisburn and growing up in Templepatrick and Donegal, he also made Cool Spot and Aladdin, but Earthworm Jim is his most famous work. The 2D platformer was a popular franchise in the 90s before becoming a minimalist in the 21st century. David Perry would be considered the best Northern Irish game developer, but he wouldn't be the only one. There's actually been quite a few game development teams over here, which can be seen on gamesni.com. The only problem is, most of these are mobile game developers, other games are only on PC, which I refuse to convert. Some haven't even published a game, or have absolutely no games listed, and one makes board games, leaving only 3 that I could try without betraying my morals. Eternal Drift made by Level 91. It might be good. I don't really like racing games. In fact, I would say it's my least favourite genre, but then I remember fishing games exist, and at least racing would be fun in real life. Billy Goat Gruff Supermarket Treat was one of the worst experiences I've ever had in my life! Until I cut off my ears. Then it became fun, if a bit overpriced, and Her Majesty's Spiffing. I'm not into point-and-click adventure games or politics, so again, I found something more boring than fishing. To the other games, yeah, I'm not apologising. You should have accommodated me.
Well, that's it. That's everything I could find in the Northern Irish impact on gaming. These last 100 years have flown by, partly because I was only alive for 17. But I'm glad that our country's impact can be summed up in the same word as our country. Controversial. But it's the heart that counts. Well, I don't really have a solvy ending to this story, as the tear gas was redirected to a flashpoint. So, I'm just going to have to hand it over to a caller.
What are you doing with a new episode? Didn't I tell you you'd be dead with no show? Ugh, I can't believe the nerves of these people thinking that your show's any good.
Whoa. Who is this?
Ratchet, remember? The guy from last time?
Oh yeah, the Kickstarter guy. Listen, I've been trying to make a complaint about the reward package, the mold on the cheese, and I ate it.
Oh, you must be a pretty fun guy.
No, it's actually been giving me some serious breathing problems.
So you're getting more Northern Irish by the day. I couldn't... Oh, well... Sorry about that. Just type in Chad in the space of Northern Ireland and you'll find everything you need.
Ah, thanks. He tricked me into searching up Chad's impact on gaming. First far, wonder can I use this jump to property ladder? Well, at least now I can tell you about how the Chad government has been censoring anyone that says anything about the fact that they developed